Hi everyone! Welcome to my channel. I'm W.
Hold on. This is my channel and I'm Mr. N.
Alright, you don't need to talk. I'm going to introduce some new novels to the readers.
Well then, let's have a competition and see which novel recommendation the readers like more.
The loser will have to accept a punishment.
Of course.
Today's theme is system.
Yeah, system. Ladies first, go ahead.
When it comes to systems, I have to mention My Vampire System by JKS. At first, Quinn struggles to control his new powers, which keep getting stronger. He nearly hurts others due to losing control. An aura named Iris, who is like a lolly vampire instructor, is summoned to help Quinn understand and harness his abilities properly. Under Iris's tutelage, Quinn learns he can evolve different areas of his vampire powers through a special systems interface. As he levels up attributes like speed, strength, sense, etc., Quinn becomes a formidable creature of the night. He faces various supernatural threats attacking the city, like monsters, cultists, and other vampires questioning his rights. Through developing his powers and fighting enemies, Quinn establishes himself as the new apex predator in the region. So, in summary, it follows Quinn's progression from mere human to almighty vampire overcoming various perils.
That novel is too mainstream. Readers must have read it already. A system's existence should allow the MC to obtain more assets, such as money. Therefore, I want to recommend this new novel. I can claim daily rewards. I can say this is an ultra-indulgent novel. The MC's golden fingers are too powerful. The story introduces the character Arlen, a young man struggling to make ends meet in poverty. Each day, it is a challenge to afford even 2 meals, and he works hard just to survive like many others. One morning, as Arlen rushed to his construction job, hoping to earn some income for the day. However, as a contract worker without benefits or steady pay, his boss calls him to the office and fires him, claiming Arlen misused company funds. This is a false accusation, as Arlen had no access to or knowledge of such finances. Unable to defend himself against the boss, no one believes Arlen's side of the story. He is labeled a thief and left with nothing but the stigma. It sets up Arlen's difficult circumstances and introduces conflict, without copying significant copyrighted content. Let me know if you would like me to elaborate on any part of the summary. Filled with rage and indignance from the injustice, he left the company building with heavy strides. He was only a contractual worker in the construction company, so he wasn't able to save a lot of money. The cash left in his bank account was only enough to last him for a few days. If he couldn't find a job in the next few days, he might even have to live on the streets. While sitting on a roadside bench, he grabbed his phone and searched for jobs online. Suddenly, an advertisement popped up on his screen and automatically downloaded a shady app. You want to claim your daily reward? Those were the words that flashed on the screen of Arlen's phone when he accidentally downloaded the shady app. When he pressed the yes button, the screen suddenly lit up and showed the words, "Congratulations on claiming 100,000. When Arlen first saw he could withdraw money from his account, he thought it was a joke. However, it turned out to be real. He had received a task system where completing missions would yield rewards. In the following days, Arlen not only gained more money, but also a luxury car and other valuable assets just from finishing tasks. He started to realize the power this system provided. Later, Arlen happened to run into the boss who had formerly fired and accused him. This time, he was determined to get revenge for what was done. The story sets up intrigue around Arlen gaining advantage through the new system and a desire for retaliation against his previous boss.
Okay, I have to say that I was indeed attracted by the plot you mentioned, but I think the system that needs to be upgraded to defeat monsters makes people more enthusiastic. Just like the novel I want to recommend now, Rebirth of the Strongest Vampire God. The background of the story is an ORPG. In the year 2100, humanity was introduced to the revolutionary full-drive VR game called Omega. However, the game was not a technology made by humans, but one granted to humanity by a higher power to prepare them for the First Awakening. It was only a tutorial and a means to smoothly transition the primitive species from thinking that they were alone in the entire universe to being integrated into the true wide universe. When the average user level in the game exceeded the predetermined threshold, the tutorial finally ended, and planet Earth underwent a catastrophic event called the First Awakening. As mana started to flow freely in the real world, as it did in the virtual world, and the real universal stage game called Sigma was unveiled. Sigma was governed by the omnipotent AI, the Universal Queen, and was the grand stage where races from all across the universe fought together for territory, resources, and honor. Set in a universe where fantasy races such as elves, dragons, and vampires are not a myth, but real power players, humans quickly found out that they were one of the weakest races to play Sigma. In such desperate times, humans turned to their best professional players for salvation. Max was a genius in the world of Omega and deemed the hope of mankind after the First Awakening. However, an accident crippled his mana veins and caused him to be assessed as a manaless trash in Sigma. Deemed hopeless and irredeemable, he quickly went from hero to zero, and the world ignored him. For 10 years since the First Awakening, he lived the life of a manless trash and became a bottom feeder in society, slowly losing his pride, his possessions, and eventually his identity. In the end, he faced a tragic and painful death, while failing to save his young nephew and niece from assailants. However, it was not the end of Max's story, but just the beginning, as he was reincarnated back in time to the day before the First Awakening, before his downfall started. Armed with the knowledge of the future, watch as Max reaches for the apex in his second life and fights against his destiny with a grit and tenacity.
Well, I've added this novel to my reading list. However, in terms of the setting of the VR game, I think it needs to add a little more adventure to make it perfect, such as reincarnated with a summoning system. The background of the story is also in the context of VR games, but once you enter the game, you cannot log out. And if you die in the game, you will die in real life. It's exciting, isn't it? Kane waking up with a headache in an alley, confused about where he is. He notices a character creation screen in front of him and thinks he must have bought a new VR game. However, as he interacts with the character creator, he starts to realize this seems more advanced than any game he's played before. He's limited in the races and classes he can choose. When he tries to randomly generate a character, he ends up with a Puppet Master class, which can summon golems and use skill books from other classes like Hunter and Shaman. Not exactly what he was hoping for, but he accepts it. He's then transported to a new world and finds himself in the same dirty alley. He explores the area and comes across a retro 50s style diner across the street. After getting food and a place to sleep for the night, he wakes up to a girl named Misha explaining that this isn't a game. They have really been transported to another world. Only people who are transferred like them seem to get the interface menus and status screens. Misha has been trying to level up as a cleric, but it's difficult without a party. Kane starts to panic, but Misha explains that transfers have been arriving for generations, so it's unlikely to be a game that's been going on that long. But Kane wasn't alarmed by being unable to log out of the game. For him, this was a rebirth. In this world, he is not disabled, but healthy. It's a second chance to live a good life, but what will Kane be able to make of it? So, which system novel is your favorite? Alright, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm going to go check out the newly added novels on the bookshelf, bros.
Hold on, where are you going to read them?
Only on Web Novel.
Hey bros, don't forget to subscribe to the Web Novel channel.